Hey everybody, welcome to Obscurities in Miniature. Today we've got a Lineage Highborne for Bellum Games Conquest line. So I had to get it. Eventually it was going to happen sooner or later, and I did manage to find one for a pretty decent price. And so this is one of the Spire hero type models. You can see here it does have a command card. It is a very interesting pose. She's got a giant glaive-like blade that is over her shoulder, or its shoulder, because I believe these are non-gendered entities. They're basically like avatars that people jack themselves into and get to go run around the battlefield on. So they are often elaborate and overly decorated and completely unique, and they're also on big cavalry stands. This one is a resin kit. There are, however, the plastic ones out there. Here's my rather poorly painted one, and I ended up not painting the rest of the unit because I really wanted to make sure I got her first. I keep referring to it as a her, just I think due to the color choices. A little bit of ASMR there. Base. And let's take a look at the actual parts. I think that's everything. So we have the waist piece here. I'm assuming that's where the big ribbon goes. Again, that's where I'm getting the gender choice from. I want to say this one, I thought this one had some ribbons on it as well. Very overtly elaborate hair curls. Now what's interesting is the legs on this one actually have a little bit more detailing and actual armor strapped to them as opposed to our friend right here. See, he's very plain and somewhat organic looking. Our Highborne's blade is much longer. I'm not sure how this is all supposed to get out like that. Okay. Much longer blade. I think that's supposed to be there. It seems rather intentional. I'm not going to cut it off, just to be on the safe side. I don't know what this is. A shoulder, perhaps? Yeah, looks like it, because here's the other hand and arm with it attached to it. And then we have the head with headdress. Nice detail as always. I may be pretty critical of the plastics at times, and they are definitely getting better, but I have absolutely not had any issues with the resins other than things getting broken prior to arriving at my home, but, you know, I have no control over the mail, unfortunately. So give me a sec. I'm going to get this stuff all cleaned up. We'll get it glued, and we'll take a closer look at how our Lineage Highborne turns out. All right, well, I'll admit, this took me a while, but I finally got our Lineage Highborne pretty much put together. And I say pretty much because I didn't actually attach the face or the ribbon on her back, even if it's a her, I'm not even sure, just due to wanting to paint it. And I have to say, you know, pictures did not do this thing justice. It's a very elaborate model in a very interesting pose, and it's very hard for that to be conveyed through photographs. She's tall, for sure. There's just absolutely no denying that. With our other avatar here. One of the reasons it took me so long to actually finish her was I needed to finish some of these, and I could never make up my mind with how I wanted to get these painted. Now, of course, I still have no idea how I'm going to paint her. I'm leaning more towards the more bleached out, brighter whites than the more bony looking version here on the screen's right. I don't know. I'm still of two minds here. I really haven't made up my mind yet. I dig the sculpt. The one thing I really don't dig, though, is the price. I feel like she's way overpriced for what you're getting. If it was like, I mean, let's be honest, for roughly the same price as her, I could be grabbing, you know, some of the smaller size creature caster stuff, which to me is a whole lot more impressive, but doesn't have a game attached to it. Whereas she actually has rules. I can use her in First Blood. I can use her in the full-on rank and file game, whereas this guy I'm going to have to get a bit more creative, but he also has a whole heck of a lot more options, such as, he had wings, he had other hands, blades, stuff like that, another face, whereas she didn't have any options. I was really kind of bummed out about that, but that was my big complaint with the Avatara as well. For the price of her, I could just get another box, and if I ever get around to getting creative, I could probably come up with my own version of a Lineage Highborne. So to me, it's a bit of a double-edged sword. It's a cool model, but for the price, I'd almost rather go double up, get another box, and see if I can come up with something of my own design. So, I don't know. I'm really of two minds. It is neat. She does look cool. It's a very unique pose, but it's expensive, and it's almost more worthwhile to get a whole nother box, come up with my own version of her, and, go to town that way. However, if Parabellum ever does decide to put out some kind of an Avatara expansion or use some more optional parts, I would wholeheartedly recommend doing that. But, she is going to have a place for sure in my warband. And now I have a good excuse to go ahead and build some more Avatara. Because you think I only have one box? Ha 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 ha. I really wish they were more like the Ogres in that regard. I think these guys so far, for the larger, monstrous infantry type brute monster guys, I think they had the most bang for the buck in terms of weapons, heads, armor, just a whole lot of variety. And they're not even like battle line mainstay forces, whereas the Avatara can be. And that's absolutely what I want to be running. So, I think it was inevitable. I got her, and I'm not disappointed that I do have her. It's going to be a challenge, like I said, to come up with a decent paint job that I'm happy with, but I do feel like if they knock the price down a little bit, or at least included some more options, I wouldn't feel as guilty about it. And it's not like it's guilty, because I'm just, using money from selling junk at the local store to pay for these things anyway, so it's not like it's my money anyway. I can't really complain. I'm just rambling at this point. Overall, it is a cool model. I mean, who am I to determine what you all do with your hard-earned money? Just be aware, for the price, it might be a better option financially for you to break down a box and get creative with your bits conversions. Just a thought. With that said, though, this has been High Lord Tamberlane with Obscurities and Miniatures, saying thanks for watching, and we'll see you back here soon. Bye-bye.